The important part about the elevator pitch is this. Many of us in this industry are introverts. We're shy to talk, and we think that we're selling people by telling them like, you should come see me, I do nails and all this, and then we sit around without any clients. So if you have an elevator pitch, I help you create one, and then you memorize it, you practice it so that you can say it anytime and anywhere. So if you're hungry, if you're hangry, if your boyfriend made you mad, if your girlfriend upset you, if someone died, if you're in love, if you're out of love, if you're heartbroken, it doesn't matter. You're still able to say that elevator pitch, and then you can go back to being depressed, because you never know who you could meet. One client, I had a friend that met one client, and she got 119 clients off that one client. So if you
Wow.
if you don't have a guaranteed paycheck, you can never be sad enough to not promote yourself.
Polish in my hand, I'm ready to create each nail a masterpiece. I can hardly wait. Soft pastels or vibrant hues, each tells a tale in their artistry of nails. Nothing ever fails. With each swirl and twirl, let the magic begin. In this kingdom of gloss, there's no end to the wind. Gloss on my fingertips, watch them shine bright. Painted like a canvas, colors taking flight. Feeling fierce and fabulous, I'm ready to ignite. Slaying the nail game every single night. Nails and beauty talk with Asia the Bird. Nails and beauty talk with Asia the Bird.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. Today, we have a very special guest with us today. She is a beauty business coach. Please welcome Naja. Hello, Naja, and welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I love to see you and help out in any way I can. So thank you for the invite.
Yes, that's absolutely your most welcome. So I want to go ahead and get started by asking where you're originally from and tell us about your upbringing.
Okay. So I'm originally from Trenton, New Jersey. It's in central New Jersey. It's
Hmm.
a rough neighborhood. It's definitely like inner city. Like I lived right in the middle of the Italian Soprano neighborhood, not like kind of like the Sopranos, like for real, the Soprano neighborhood. And then
Hmm.
the other neighborhood was, deep hood, where you're opening the oven for heat and this kind of stuff. So I grew up there, and it was confusing as
Mm.
someone just trying to make their way, a young person under 20 trying to figure out what's what. I was confused, but the truth and the wisdom was not confused. I understood where the real love was and where there was real hate, and I gravitated towards real love.
Mm, absolutely. So tell us about your school experience, like grade school, college, beauty school, things like
Hmm.
that.
So I really want people to understand this, because then that I'm not a natural born speaker. People see me, if they've seen me in some of the things that I do. Like I used to have a radio show, I was on TV, I teach classes all over the world, I can coach, I can have confidence now just speaking with you and have a good rapport. But that's something that I really grinded and worked on for like a decade or more of my life, because up until I was in 10th grade, you really have to listen to this. Up until I was in 10th grade, I did not speak. I wasn't like a mute on
Mm.
paper, but I was so terrified. It's beyond nervous. When you have such a traumatic upbringing, there's terror that, if you speak, violence will incur. So I did not speak. I remember standing in front of the room of the oral book report, and like I just froze. I didn't speak. The teacher made me stand there for 20 minutes with no words. And that just made me even more panicked. So I did around 10th grade is when I
Mm.
started to want to try to like break out of my zone and try to make friends and talk with people. And then it took like another 20 years or so to be able to use my voice in business and things like that. So that was most of my upbringing. And I was always in high school and college, I was always very good with writing, because writing, you don't need to be
Mhm.
speaking it. But when they would say you have to read your speech, then I'm like, oh no. But
Mm.
I took some speech classes and things like that. So that was my main schooling and upbringing. And then I went to beauty school, not because I had a love for nails or anything. I was raised by my father, and my father really raised me as a boy. Like I played all sports, I did all man stuff. I
Mm.
never did girly stuff. I was like just raised misogynistically, thinking that's all like princess weird stuff anyway. Like I just wasn't in tune with that. So I went to beauty school because I worked at a day spa, and
Right.
I fell in love with the spa industry. I was like, wow, this is like a modern day hospital. This is really preventative care. You know what I'm saying? And then
Right.
there was a
Mhm.
manicurist there who had been there 11 years. I worked the front desk. She had off on Sundays and Mondays, and everyone would come in and be like, "Can you do a manicure and pedicure today?" And I was like, "No, she has off Sunday, Monday." Then other people would come in. The people were coming, walk-ins were coming in, and like after like the 25th person was like, "Is there anywhere here?" It was like in Marina Del Rey, California. Is there anywhere here in Marina Del Rey, California we can get a mani pedi on Sunday and Monday? So I just took my Jersey street smarts hustle mentality, be like, you know what? I'm gonna. I had no interest, but I was like, I'm gonna go to nail school, and then I could just be like the take monopolize Monday and Sundays around here because it seems like no one's doing nails here. So I went to nail school as a business decision. I didn't know I'd fall in love with it in my career. You know, God would grace me with all this, you know, kind of great stuff.
Mm. Now I want to get into as far as beauty. So, what were like your earliest memories about beauty, and how did you get exposed to the nail industry?
Um, I have one early memory of like wearing nail polish. I had like red nail polish and I was doing my homework, like maybe, I don't know, third or fourth grade, and just remember like reading like the line, like, and just watching my nail go across while I was reading. I was just so enamored by that. But anytime after that, I railed against it. Like I really did denounce any kind of what the culture makes you think is femininity or womanness or anything like that. Like my mom told me, I'd always be like, I'm not wearing nail polish. Like I would say prayers in church that I wouldn't have to wear a bra or shave my legs. So as far as beauty, when I was younger, it was not it at all. I
Mhm.
was not interested in anything girly. All my friends were putting in Aquanet hairspray and doing all this, and I was like not about it until about like 11th grade. Then when
Mhm.
11th grade came, I found my own style, and then I, got under the wings of a lot of gay men like Butch Queens, and they really helped me form my style. And those were the ones that helped me to actually, find my kind of what we normally think is femininity. But how I got exposed to the
Mhm.
nail industry was just that. I worked at a day spa. When I first moved to California,
Mhm.
I worked at a day spa, and I was like, just, I didn't know all about waxing or massaging or facials or any of this. And I just really was like, oh, I really like this. And then that's how I got introduced to doing nails, because there was a spa open on Sunday and Monday. And I was like, let me try it.
Mhm.
I did not know
Yeah,
how to,
absolutely. I want to get into as oh, go ahead, I'm
I'll
sorry.
let you go.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think you froze for a
Okay.
second, and I think it cut you off like in the
Okay.
middle. So you go ahead, and I'll go ahead to your
Okay.
question.
So yeah, I did not know anything about beauty per se except for hair stuff. But when it came
Hmm.
to nails, I never polished my own nails. So when I was in nail school, I practiced my whole time doing the nippers, and I didn't
Hmm.
practice polishing nails at all. So when I got out of school, there was paint everywhere. There was paint on the client's legs. It was in my hair. Like, you know how small a pinky toenail is? Like, I did not know. So I just used my, hustle mentality, and I just went and got an all male clientele because I was working in, West Hollywood, a gay neighborhood. So I got an all male clientele, and they weren't all only gay. It was like businessmen, straight gay, but I had all men while I was practicing how to polish nails. So, beauty
Hmm.
memory I have is I had a friend named Nicole, and I was mesmerized by her doing her hair with like the Marcel irons and all that. And she put on red lipstick, and then would put a tissue and then baby powder on it to like set it and to mat it. So like I was just mesmerized by a lot of Black America beauty because those were my friends, and just seeing all the different hairstyles and all that. So I, because that's what I grew up around, and those were my friends, that I didn't have much guidance. So then I tried that as well, but it doesn't work for my texture hair. So I was putting pink oil in my hair. I was putting beeswax in my hair and doing all kind of stuff. So those are my introductions to beauty.
Mm. I want to get into as far as this next question. So I first got familiar with you watching LA
Okay.
Hair. which was on the We channel. So, how did you get on the show, and what was your experience working with Kim Kimball?
So how God got me on that show. Just I'll start there. I did not want to go on a reality TV show. I'm very private. I don't want to be exposed like that. But God has a sense of humor, and He demanded it. So I'll go into that. So how I met Kim Kimball was the first celebrity client I ever worked with was Mary J. Blige, which was so amazing because that's my childhood idol. Like I'm very Jersey, very jaded, don't care. Like, okay, these people just make more money than me. They have a job that makes more money, a celebrity. I'm not enthralled by celebrity like that. But Mary J. Blige, then I was like, oh, like I only listened to her albums for real. Like months on end, my roommates would be like, "Can you get a different album?" It's like I just Mary, Mary, Mary. So to have her as a client was
Right.
amazing. So the first time I went to go do her nails, Kim Kimball was there and Kim Kimball was doing her hair. So that's how I met Kim Kimball. And then I started
Mhm.
to work with Mary more. So I would see Kim a lot. And then Kim would introduce me to her other clients. Like Kim said, I'm going to go do Eve's hair. Do you want to come do her nails? Or I'm going to go do Shakira. Do you want to come do her? So Kim got me a lot of work. Like that helps in the industry. If you know someone like, hey, I can have someone come here and do your nails. Cause back then it was mostly they would just depend on the makeup artist to like paint nails or put on press-ons. The nail people, they really didn't have a big kind of market in that scene. So that's how I met
Mhm.
Kim, and we worked together on set for like 6 years or so. And then she owned a salon, and then she had the reality show, and it was on for the first season. And then she called me and said, "We're going to do our second season, and the producers are really wanting a nail person on there because nails are so big." Because that was really when nails were starting to really get like into the media more. Like I've always known about nails from the culture I've been in, but like the media. So I said
Right.
no. I have a spiritual teacher I've had for a while. I have a very deeply spiritual life, and I told him, "Oh, there's this opportunity to go on TV, but it's at the same time when we were going to take a kind of a journey retreat to India to his teacher's home." And he said, "No, you have to go on the reality show." I said, "No, no, no. I don't want to." And he's like, "This is an opportunity that you cannot pass up. Like you can't pay for this level of marketing. You must do this." So I said, "Let me get this straight. There's two options. I can go to India with my teacher to see his teacher's home, or I could go on TV and act like a buffoon." And he was like, "Yes, God has a very big sense of humor, and that's what you should do." And I was like, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. So that was like
Mm.
a God ordained mission to go on the reality show. And I really went on there with trying to represent nail stylists so that the world could know that it's an actual career, it's an actual profession. And there's a lot of things that can be done in it. It's not just, oh, the nail lady, and I think I achieved
Right.
that in a lot of ways from the feedback. There's lots of girls that have contacted me and said, "I went to school because I saw you on TV. I didn't know I could do that, but I went to school for that." Or other people saying, "You really stood up for your business and stuff." And yeah, there's other shenanigans that happen on there, but it's reactionary TV. It's not reality TV. Like it's made for reactions.
Mm. So, working in a salon and being on a reality TV show, what was like the takeaways from that experience?
Are you saying like by working in a salon that was televised? Is that what you mean?
Yes. Hmm.
Um, well, I tried to stay true to my nature of what I would actually do in a salon, but it was exaggerated. It's like nausea times 10. A number of the things that I did on the show, I wouldn't be doing in a salon if cameras weren't there. But how I took it was I'm a business person. So for the business of being on a reality TV show, the check does not say manicures, the check does not say nail stylist, the check says appearance fee. So I'm going to appear. So I
Mm.
appeared. I appeared, myself exaggerated a lot. So I did notice that like hair salons do have a lot of drama because that was a hair salon. Do you know what I mean? I was used to working in like high end nail spas or spas where it's like much more quiet, not cat, that kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
my takeaway from that is that there are editing tricks and all that kind of stuff to make it seem like splice this, splice that, but they did give me guidance. Like they said, if you don't say it, it can't be put out there. So really represent your own character. Now, another thing I think people would find interesting is that you are entering at your own risk, right? You sign a paper that says I'm entering at my own risk, and the police can be called, and the show does not help you. So the producers, when I first got there, they said, listen, and I was like, wow, this something. The producers, who
Mm-hmm.
are all, making lots of money, living in their, lily white homes and stuff, but the producers try to make it seem they don't want all the rah rah, but they do, because that's what brings the ratings. But they did tell me, they said, look, this is a misdemeanor and this is a felony. I was like, what's that mean? They said, if you hit someone with an open hand, it's a misdemeanor. If you hit someone like this, it's a felony. And they were like, anyone can call the cops on you here, any of the cast members, and we cannot protect you. So I was like, well, this is a dangerous work environment. You feel it's
Mm-hmm.
like it. They're not
Mm-hmm.
protected from that, from that, just because, oh, I was doing that for TV or whatever. It doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm. And I think with the show LA Hair, I think that came out the same time. I think it was like Boss Nails that came out. I remember that show came out. I remember Nailed It came out. So, it was, that the show LA Hair was around the time when those shows came out and stuff like that. And, I found out about you through the show LA Hair because you was the nail stylist for Kim Kimball
Mm-hmm.
Salon. And so I remember watching seasons of LA Hair and things like that. So yeah, it's just crazy. But reality TV show does like the over exaggerate stuff and the editing and all this other stuff.
So how'd I do? Did I entertain you? Did I upset you? What was your takeaway of watching it?
I think there was, when I watched it like years ago, there was over exaggeration of drama. It was, presented as there was moments where it was toxic in a way. So that's what I got from when I watched it and stuff like that. But I also, thought that, you know, this is like how they show entertainment. I mean, if you look at like, the Real Housewives and stuff like that, all the drama and stuff, that's entertainment for the
Mm-hmm.
viewers. You know what I'm saying? So I think that there in the show with LA Hair, there was some toxicity
Yeah.
there.
And that's
Yeah.
that's
So
what is it? It's not fabricated to the point like me and Kim are trying to come up with something to do, right? It's
mhm,
the producers that do
mhm,
psychological warfare against people. So it is always a pop up. It's not like,
mhm,
oh, we all show up at the same time. It's like, oh, Naja, you come in at this time, and then you think you're just doing something with Dante, and then if you don't have then Angela just pops up, because the producers are always trying to get you to make a reaction. That's the money shot. So it's like, that's why I call it
mhm,
reactionary TV rather than reality TV.
yeah,
Reality.
absolutely. I want to get in. Oh,
No
go ahead. I'm
one's
sorry.
living in reality, so it's not possible to have reality TV. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, most definitely. It's definitely reactionary TV than it is reality. And that's like with social media. Like social media, the majority of it is not real. You know what I mean? It's fake followers, bots, and all this other stuff,
it's a
filters.
free marketing
So
tool.
yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I want to get into speaking of marketing. Let's talk about the marketing side of the beauty business. So you mentioned a video where passing out business cards is not enough, and you suggest that nail techs and nail artists should come up with an elevator pitch. So what is an elevator pitch, and how does it help gain a clientele?
An elevator pitch is something that can be said within like 15 to 30 seconds. You want to imagine that you and I are getting into an elevator at the first floor, and I'm getting off at the fifth floor. And what can you tell me that would make me think of you? Like, make me remember, oh, Asia, you just coming up to me and say, I'm Asia, I do nails. That's not enough. It's like you have to have
Mhm,
some
mhm,
buzzwords around it. Like, well, what would make it stand out? Like, so for instance, my elevator pitch that tripled my clientele and tripled my revenue is when Minx nails were out. Do you remember Minx nails? It's like a full
I
a
think
full
so. Yeah.
cover foil sticker. Beyonce wore it in the all the single ladies. It was like gold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Single ladies.
so
Mhm,
It was before Chrome and stuff came out, so it was really like, wow, this gold on the nails, and it was a full coverage sticker, it could be all kind of stuff. So at that time, I would be wearing that all around. People like, oh my god, what's that? And I was like, oh, I do this at my salon. These are called minx nails. I also offer reflexology pedicures, and I serve sangria, and we have great massage chairs. Come see me. So that's
Mhm.
enough for you to be like, oh, more than just nails. It's like reflexology pedicures. They have sangria. They do these fashionista nails. So it's like I train
Right.
people to pull out what it is that they really do. People like, I do acrylic nails. It's like, so does a million other people. What is it? Like, I
Right.
do acrylic nails that I guarantee they stay on for 2 weeks, or I do acrylic nails that do no damage to nails, or I do acupressure pedicures. I specialize in natural nails, or whatever it is, but there has to be some buzzwords around it. So I help people to create an elevator pitch. The important part about the elevator pitch is this. Many of us in this industry are introverts. We're shy to talk, and we think that we're selling people by telling them like, you should come see me, I do nails and all this. And then we sit around without any clients. So if you have an elevator pitch, I help you create one, and then you memorize it. You practice it so that you can say it anytime and anywhere. So if you're hungry, if you're hangry, if your boyfriend made you mad, if your girlfriend upset you, if someone died, if you're in love, if you're out of love, if you're heartbroken, it doesn't matter. You're still able to say that elevator pitch, and then you can go back to being depressed, because you never know who you could meet. One client. I had a friend that met one client, and she got 119 clients off that one client. So if you if you don't
Wow.
have a guaranteed paycheck, you can never be sad enough to not promote yourself. That's why I'm a very, very depressed person. I have a lot of mental health issues, a lot of anxiety. But if someone comes across me and says, "Oh my God, I love your hair, I love your nails," I never just say, "Oh, thank you." Hee hee. That's what most people say, "Thank you," and walk away. That is God literally sending you a potential client. And it's much easier when people come up to you to market than you have to go grind out. So when you go out, and I say to you, like for you, I would say, first thing, I love your nose. I really do. I love faces, or I love your earrings, or I love your hat. And then if you just say, "Oh, thank you," that's good. And not tell me about whatever you do, your beauty services, your art, your nails, then that's actually disrespectful to God. God just sent you someone. God works in other people. So that's why I have people practice this elevator pitch so that you know it. Like, here's the example. If you say you got into a little minor car accident and your face is all good, but your knee, you need something on your knee, and they have you on a gurney wheeling you into the surgery room, and your arms are out like this on the thing, you got your head cap on, and the nurse says, "Oh, I like your nails." If you really want to be in business for real, for longevity, you would tell that elevator pitch to that nurse and be like, "All right, come, see me when I'm out of this surgery," because you're always prepared to be able to say what it is you do. Because I do nails is not enough.
Hmm. Absolutely. I want to also talk about cross promoting. So, what is the purpose of cross promoting, and how does one take advantage of that style of marketing as well?
Cross promoting is the smartest thing that anyone can do. Cross promoting is, like I said, where how my friend off of one gentleman got 119 clients. I personally, the person who how I got Mary J. Blige as a client was not from Kim Kimball. I met Kim Kimball through Mary J. Blige, but how I got Mary J. Blige as a client was from a waxer. Her name is Kim, and she was very popular in the area for waxing people's legs, cha cha's face. She's a waxer. So she
Right.
had worked at a studio about 2 blocks away from where my nail salon was. So I used to go to her to get my chin waxed, and she sent me not only Mary J. Blige, that was one great client that helped propel my career, but she sent me over the course of a couple years about 200 clients. And this is how this
Wow.
works. Cross promoting means I'm cross promoting with a waxer who is not doing nails. I'm cross promoting with Kim Campbell, a hairstyle that's not doing nails. So it adds a service to Kim when people say, "Where do I get my nails done? I just moved here." Or, "Do you know a good person?" Like Mary said to her, "I need a pedicure." And she said, "Oh, I know the girl." So she would send people to my salon all day long. And it's because she already had a large clientele. She'd been in business for 20 years, had 1,000 clients. The other gentleman that I was talking about had a mailing list of about 5,000 people, and he would tell everyone, "Oh, I think this Reiki master would be good." So in 1 year, you can get 119 clients. So the way to cross promote is doing that, finding people that have either a large following or other things. Like I have an ebook, it's called The 55 Places to Market Your Beauty Business. And in there, it lists 55 places and it lists how to cross promote. Like if you're a pedicurist, you should have two or three podiatrists in your hands. You should have a realtor. Realtors are the people that find the new people that are in your area. They can give a gift certificate to come give your service. You can
Mm.
go, you should have the gym, a wedding planner. If you have one wedding planner in your back pocket. So I talk about every neighborhood mostly is going to have these 55 places, like the dry cleaners. That's where everyone gets all their dirt. You can have your, get in cahoots with the dry cleaner. So the dry cleaner can say, oh, we clean your hands, we clean your clothes. These people clean your nails. But it's like, you're only one person. But if you operate right, you can almost operate on a budget of like a big company like Coca-Cola. Like Kim gave me 200 clients in a year. And then I had a podiatrist that was sending me clients, 2 to 3 a month. So it's like thinking like that. So I'm very proud of writing that ebook and showing people exactly what to say when you go to those places as well. So
Mhm. Yeah, it's very interesting how you brought that up because, the whole thing with the wedding planner and all these other people, because I think with the nail industry, I think what's not talked about enough is the whole thing with marketing. And
oh,
even when
it's
I
not
went,
talked about at all. It's just a
yeah,
crime.
yeah, 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 it's not talked about at all. And the thing is that like, I like that perspective because it's saying like, hey, you can reach out to these different people, associated with beauty or, other different aspects of realtors and things like that. People wouldn't
No
really
way.
think of that. But it's like, there's that really, shows people like, hey, there's different possibilities and different ways you can
Yeah.
market, to different types of
Yeah, I
people.
can guarantee that that ebook will get your creative juices flowing. Like I give a money back guarantee if anyone can read that book and not at least once be like, wow, and just feel like their mind's blown. Because I've got a lot of clients from barbershops. The thing is, people have to really recognize that they've signed up for a career where there's no guaranteed paycheck. Some salons now pay like people hourly rates and stuff, but old school, and if you really want to make more money, it's if you don't have a client, you don't get paid. So I always advocate people in early on and now, if you don't have a full book, you should be practicing your nail skill and your marketing skill the same. 50% marketing, 50% nails. Everyone always just wants to perfect their nails and then they're sitting around and they just want to post on Instagram and think they're going to get a client that way. That's not how you can't get clients that way. A lot of people struggle. I have so many DMs of I can't get a clientele, I can't get this. And I say, how do you know anything about marketing? They're like, no, that's a criminal thing that we don't teach in school. So that's where my heart started to teach. I used to teach the technique of nails, but then I saw there's plenty of people that I loved, Mindy Hardy, Poochie, people teaching the techniques back when I was coming up. It's like, okay, there's plenty of technique classes, but what are you going to do once you learn these techniques if you don't know how to get clients? So that's why
Hmm.
really my passion went to that.
Mm, absolutely. So I want to get into technology. So technology has came so far in the beauty industry. We're now in the era of AI and ChatGPT. So what do you think about the growth of technology and how can beauty professionals take advantage of AI?
I read that question when you sent them to me so I can review it, and I got to plead the fifth on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm old school. I don't know much about AI or chat GBT or any of that. But what I can say is don't get caught up in the sauce and just use it.
Mhm,
Use it as a business tool for however it works. Like social media is a
mhm,
free business tool, but people are using social
mhm,
media to validate themselves and to measure their worth and to see if they're actually really good. It's like I know so many ladies, especially like in Florida, they're not on social
mhm.
media. They have a full book of client. They work 3 days a week. They make cake and they go about their life. So I don't know about how to use AI and chat GBT because that's just not my arena. I
Mhm,
haven't grown into that. But if it's necessary, I will
mhm.
because I'm an adaptable business person. And sometimes you need to adapt. Like I never wanted to do social media. I never wanted to do reality TV, but I adapted to that. So on that, I don't know. You tell me, at least tell me one thing. How can you use AI for nail stuff?
So as far as with AI, people are using it as far as in terms of some people use it for to help with business plans. Chat GBT people use it not just with even with beauty, like people use it to help as far as with their business. AI has helped in terms of like artistically, because there's different platforms like, Mid Journey, for example, like, it's a lot of AI art, that people get inspiration from. And, even with the whole thing, like I've interviewed people who have, owned NFTs, and NFTs are non fungible
Hmm.
tokens where, you sell, like, say, for instance, like, your artwork, and in return, some people do the whole thing of utility where, hey, if you buy this NFT, there's a utility to back up. Like you have access to these different events, you have access to different memberships and things like that. So, with AI and chat GBT and, NFTs, I think that that's helped people get exposed to the different ways of handling technology and how they could take advantage
Okay.
of it.
Yeah, I understand. If you can type in a bunch of stuff and then it helps spit out a marketing plan or a business plan or something like that, that would be really great. I do remember now I had one like I was like, oh, okay, AI. I didn't really know what it was, but it sounded pretty good because my friend did type in some things about her business, and she makes resin, like resin anything, resin earrings,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
it typed out the what is it? The name was great. It's like the resin lesbian or the lesbian resin or something like that. But I was like, how'd you come up with that name? And she said, oh, I put it in AI. I said, oh, I didn't even know you were that high tech. So I
Yeah, yeah. So I want to get in terms of more about social media. So, what is your perspective on social media and how it's impacted the current state of the nail industry?
For me, I've had a lot of success with social media. I've made a lot of money off social media by finding people, coaching people, talking to people all over the world, companies paying me to do things. So for me, I've used it for what I believe it is, which is
Mhm.
a marketing tool and a networking tool. Like I can go in on social media for 15 minutes and network with about 100 people and come out with some really good connections. But I use it for that. I don't use it to validate myself. I don't use it to see am I good enough or not. And I don't use it as my only way to get clients. So there's some
Mhm.
plus sides and some downsides to social media. One is that um, people think that they can just post and then they'll get a client, and that's not how it works. And there's all kind of different
Right.
ways that you can utilize it to get clients, and it's very easy. Like I have a class, the social media essentials, and I can show you how off of one service to get 10 to 20 pieces of content. Most people are telling me, oh, I don't have a lot of clients. I did 3 clients last week, so I probably only have like three three things to post. And it's like you could get 30 pieces of content out of those three nail services. And I don't know why we don't use our creativity when it comes to content. I think it's because we're comparing and judging and thinking what other people are doing, because we could be so creative in decorating a nail space and doing nails, but then when it comes to like, oh, I don't know how to make content, I don't know how to make content, it's like that's not true. You just need help, right? So I have a lot of ways for that. The downside of social media, I think, is that people fall for the sauce, fall for the hype, right? I've never fallen for the hype because I grew up with the song "Don't Believe the Hype," right? So I've just trained that way. But
Right.
the hype
Mhm.
is that just because someone has a million followers or a lot of this or a lot of that, a lot of people make it look like they're mailing out a lot of stuff. They're not. They're mailing out 3 packages, but they just have a lot of stuff packed up. Like it's Hollywood on a TV screen. So a lot of people are using it to compare themselves. Well, this person has a key and this person that. And when I was working um, with Valentino, like starting that business, like really building it up, we went to over 300 salons. We met with all the top Instagrammers then that some of those Instagrammers are even bigger now. We just met with all the people just to try to, get the brand out there. And lo and behold, it really is just a facade, like smoke and mirrors, most of it. When you meet the people, they don't know how to have conversations. A lot of times people have to recognize sometimes there's these Instagram nails that are like a photo shoot. It took 6 to 9 hours to create these nails. You can't do that
Mhm.
and make salon money. So you really have to take everything with a grain of salt. The other thing that I think is sad about social media, and this has been reflected to me, is that people will put coaching or teaching or something like that in their bio, and then people contact people and they never get responses back, because that's what people reflect to me most. Oh my God, you actually answered. Like, you actually answered. It's like, yeah, this, I want to help. This is my job. I'm like a coach. I want to do this. So I've never been the person to like, oh, let me keep all my secrets to myself, because there are no secrets. You did not, you didn't create
Mm,
anything new. God is the creator.
mm,
So I don't claim to have created anything new. No one did.
mm. So, what are some things you like about the nail industry, and what are some other things you think the nail industry could be improved on?
The thing I like about the nail industry is that we are really givers. We really have a true servant heart. I've been with myself. I've trained lots of people. I've talked to lots of people. I work in a school now where I'm going through admissions. So I hear, why do people really want to go to beauty school? And man, we're such a bunch of givers. We want to help women. We want to really make people feel better. If we had acne, we want to make people feel better. If we had a nail thing, we just want to like help. We're such helpers and givers, and I really love that. And I have been fortunate enough in my career that I had two tremendous mentors, and then a lot of really great people in the celebrity world that mentored me. Like, I'm very,
Hmm.
very fortunate to have fallen into like a lot of great mentorship, and then I paid that back and have helped thousands of people as well. So I really like that aspect of it. The part that I think that can
Hmm.
be improved is um not being know-it-alls. Like, some people think that they're, chemists, but they're not. You're a nail tech, and if you have something to say about, well, maybe it's supposed to be done this way or that way, then if we can talk about it in a less hateful way. It kind of has
Hmm.
that like vegan vibe when people are like, what's in milk? It's like, well, you got to like educate me first so then I can make a decision. But when it comes with that defensive thing, it's like, you you can't do that. And the other thing about the nail industry is
Right.
the kind of like the drinking of the Kool-Aid, like only this brand works, only this, only that. It's like, brands are there to sell. And I've
Right.
worked for lots of brands, and I've been the salesperson, and I never sold anything I didn't like. And if I'm passionate about something, people usually buy it because I just have real passion. But it's like,
Right.
to not drink the Kool-Aid and then be in all these kind of clicks, and think popularity um,
Hmm.
will sustain you for a long period of time, because it won't. But treating your clients will.
Mm,
Treating your clients right, they'll stay
mm,
with you forever.
mm. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Like, that's what I've really noticed as of recently, as far as within the nail industry, especially social media wise, where it's a lot of like how you said, hype, popularity, these some of these clicks, if not a lot of these clicks, and it's just at a point where it's like, oh, if you don't support this brand only, then you push to the
Yeah.
wayside. So is definitely this thing of idolism and favoritism in the nail industry.
Yes. Idealism is a good way to look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get into as far as your favorite beauty products. So, what are some of your favorite beauty products for hair, skin, and nails?
Um, I don't actually have favorite ones, but I can mention them. Because I really just use what's sent to me. I always get things sent to me, so I just use that. I don't have a favorite skin product or anything
Mm,
like that. But I do use a lot of Aveda products. Like, for my hair, I use
mm,
Aveda products. For my skin, I use Aveda. For nails, I do like Daddy Oil. It's a cuticle oil from
mhm,
the brand Famous Names. I always have like little mini ones in my car, mini ones in my purses. That cuticle oil is really great. I'm a real proponent of cuticle oil, and not just putting it on like this. You got to get it in there, and it's like, but it changes
right.
everything. Like, if people put it on one hand and then not the other, and then looking like, wow, that really makes a difference. Um, and then I use rose water a lot. That's what I use. So I get this concentrated rose oil from Morocco,
Mhm,
and then I put it
right.
into water, and then I'm constantly spraying that all over me as a beauty product, but also as a refresher. Like, I'll keep it in the car, being in like LA traffic. I spritz a few times, and it feels really great. So and I also used to do that in the salon, and that's really great, like, to start someone's service like that, so that they can know, like, this is why this is a $90 pedicure. This is why it's a $60 pedicure. Like, okay, man, let's sit down and relax. take a smell of this essential oil. I'm like, oh, would you like a spray of
Mm-hmm.
rose water? I do it for myself first so they could see. I'm like, okay, close your eyes and go, tss, and then they're like, already relaxed and ready. So, and that's a conversation starter.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if I'm out and about in public, I'm just like spraying my rose water. I was like, would you like some rose water? Whether they say yes or no, it's still like a conversation starter. So that's I would say that's my favorite beauty product, rose oil, rose water.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. I want to get into mental health. So, you talk about energy cleaning. So, what has been your experience with mental health? And what are some things you recommend for energy cleaning?
So why I was talking about energy cleaning and energy clearing is because so many people, I gauge what's going on by what's going on in my DMs, and so many people were telling me that they're burnt out, they're drained, they're thinking about leaving nails and all that. And they're thinking about leaving nails mostly because it's a struggle, they don't have enough clients and that kind of stuff. But it is also backbreaking work if you don't have boundaries and not know how to say no to someone, you're not charging enough, so then you feel taken advantage of. So I have classes for all this kind of stuff. And the reason why I came up with each of these classes is because of what people were bringing to me. I only wanted to teach marketing. That's it. But I couldn't get to the marketing because people were worried about perfectionism. Like, this person's stones stay on longer on Instagram, not mine. Or I don't know how to chart, all that. So
Right.
what I recognized is in my own self, what I used to always do is I always had an amethyst crystal on my nail tray. So that is
Mm-hmm.
a thing that helps keep your energy yours, my energy mine. Not that you have bad or good energy. It's not that. It's just like I got my own stuff, you got your own stuff, right? And then anytime after a
Right.
pedicure or anytime after I touch someone, I would go in the bathroom and wash my hands with like the salt scrub that I was using, and I would wash it, and then I would just let the water like flow out like this 3 times just to like let all of Asia's energy go. Now I'm just back to me, and now I'm going to get to the next client because you're touching a lot of people. You're touching a lot of
Right.
energy. And now I go dancing like three
Mm-hmm.
times a week, and it's called free form, like contact improv dancing. So you're rolling around with people, you're touching them. And I've noticed that I still do that. I'll go up to the sanitation thing and take it, or I'll wipe my hands and like put it to the flower, put it to the candle that's there. Cause it's like, it's just not sucking in all these people's energy. So when people are really tired at the end of the day and they're just holding all those people's energy. So there needs to be something in place. Like it could just be easily washing your hands and letting the water flow through and imagine them going. It could be giving your whole self a salt scrub at the end of the night. That would be good. The whole body. You could do sage,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff. So that's where that comes into play.
Mm-hmm. Now, what has been like your personal experience as far as mental health?
My personal experience with mental health is I've had a really um, traumatic childhood. So I have PTSD, a lot of trauma responses, a lot of depression. But
Mm-hmm.
recently, and that was just how I lived. I didn't know, we weren't calling it mental health stuff then. Now we're trying to get more aware and talking about stuff so that you just think you're crazy and you don't know what's going on and all that, right? But now,
Mm-hmm.
recently, since we're talking more openly about mental health and traumas and triggers, recently, like within the past 2 years, um, yeah, I've had a tremendous amount of anxiety where it really debilitated me. Like I
Mm-hmm.
could barely work at all. I haven't really posted new contact or recorded new podcasts in a year or two because I just couldn't get to it. I just have my assistant keep replaying the same stuff to try to keep it alive, but it really froze me and debilitated me. And I got help for it and stuff, and they were saying that it's old anxiety from the past. It's not new stuff. It's all the anxiety you felt as a child that you couldn't feel because if you felt it at that time, you actually would have died. So this was like a survival mechanism. So
Mm-hmm.
I understand what it feels like to just not be able to do something. When people are like, oh, well, just pick yourself up in the bootstraps, or you can get it done. It's like sometimes it's not possible to brush your teeth. You just don't have enough energy for it. So I really have compassion and understanding for that. And I never wanted to speak about that before, like going on the reality show, traveling all around. I was always terrified and always scared, but like I just was doing it to survive. I had to do it. But I guess I got a little bit more stable and comfortable, and then it gave me the space to be able to like feel all of this.
Mm-hmm. I want to push forward and talk about podcasting. So, you have your own podcast called All Things Naja. Tell us about your podcast and what are some of the subjects you cover in your podcast?
So, All Things Naja is my podcast, and it's called, the tagline is Creative Solutions for Creative People. So I have very easy practical solutions for people. If they're introverts, if they're shy, I'm not a cookie cutter person. I can really listen to what's going on and what you need. So over the years, most of the same things come up. Like people are too shy to talk. People think that they're selling, and I give a talk on you're not selling, you're telling. You're not selling people. You're just telling people that you do nails. Like share with them what it is you do. You're instead of selling, tell. And if you don't tell them, then it's actually being disrespectful because you're not sharing with them like, hey, there's other avenues than these kind of corner nail salons. So if my proponent, if
Mm-hmm.
you don't have an elevator pitch and you're not out there promoting yourself and showing the general public that there's different ways, then you're not allowed to make fun of the corner shops or say that they're not good or anything, because what are you doing to help people not know that? Because a lot of people don't know there's other options. So once you come to me, you're not going back there because you didn't know. So in my podcast, I
Mm-hmm.
address a lot of those kind of things. I do address anxiety, self care, marketing, like the cross promoting we were talking about, elevator pitch,
Mm-hmm.
perfectionisms, pricing, how to change your prices, how to fire clients, how to not let clients walk all over you. If you're giving free nail art all the way all the time and not knowing how to like actually charge for it. So it's in
Mm-hmm.
essence really trying to make you understand that whether you like it or not, you are a business person. You're a creative business person. People want, oh, I'm an artist. I'm an artist. I'm not good at math. Okay. But you're going to be going to work at a company, for the bank or something that you don't like and not be able to make money at your art if you don't understand how to operate as a creative business person. So that's why it's called creative solutions for creative people, because I'm not a suit and tie person that didn't have all the same problems I just talked about. You can't learn from people like that. You can't learn from people that don't understand if they were really shy or, like a really talkative person can't help someone that doesn't understand shyness. Like I grew up that shy, so I can help people step by step and see what would really work for them. So I have a lot of fun with my podcast, and I always, if anyone's listening, I always take topic. So if anyone wants to, it's like getting like a free one-on-one, just say, hey, I want to know your opinion on this, or can you talk about this? And then that's how I get a lot of my ideas as well. So I'd love anyone's input.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. Last but not least, where can people find you on social media, and how can people get access to your ebook and other resources you provide for beauty professionals?
So you can find me on Instagram. It's the underscore Naja. So THE underscore Naja, NAJA. And then you can find my learning academy. I have 4 to 5 pre-recorded classes and 2 ebooks, and it's a money back guarantee if you take something and don't like it. Or you can also contact me and we can talk for 15 or 20 minutes before you purchase anything to make sure it's right for you. And I make everything very affordable. It's like super affordable because I really want to help people. So that can be found at learn.najanailguru.com. So it's learn
Mm-hmm.
najanailguru.com.
All right, that's really, really great. Well, thank you so much, Naja, for jumping on. I really appreciate your insight as far as marketing, the business of beauty, and things like that. And I really appreciate that talked about the nail industry and how it could be improved. Some of the stuff I definitely agree with as far as the clicks, the popularity. There has to be more talks in terms of marketing as well. So I really appreciate this conversation, getting to know you and your story. And this was great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was really great to talk with you.
Yes, absolutely. Take care. Bye bye. Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care, stay healthy, and stay beautiful. Bye bye.